There you go.
So I'm on?
You're on.
Yeah, okay. So I want to start this off just by saying that I'm old and my memory might not serve me exactly correctly, and everything that I say may or may not be accurate. But I was at a meeting today, which was the dissolution of BABO, and it was actually a merger with Leaf. And kind of an interesting story that when BABO started 20 years ago, its purpose was to be an advocate for parks and access along the Bayfront and making the Erie waterfront what it should be.
And BABO is the Bayfront Area Beautification Organization.
Bayfront Access and Beautification Organization. And one of our early thoughts was that we really didn't want to be doing a whole lot of the work ourselves, but be a vehicle to assist community groups taking on projects along the Bayfront of beautifying, providing access, and assisting community groups in getting through the bureaucracy of forming a nonprofit and that. And we had several different subcommittees that did exactly that. The playground at Liberty Park was one of our subcommittees. It was a one-time activity, a community group that wanted to build a playground. They needed a 501c3.
There we go. Okay.
The Lake Erie Arboretum at Frontier Park. They wanted to take Frontier Park and improve it, which is a park down near the Bayfront. And they started out as a subcommittee of BABO. As they progressed, they became large enough that they split off, and we split their assets from what we had to start their own nonprofit, and over the last 10 years have been very successful in developing Frontier Park and coming up with millions of dollars to do improvements that were needed down there. Through the years, our board has not become that active, and so by our meeting today, we now are a subcommittee of LEAF, and the thought there is that our missions are similar in that taking the Arboretum idea and extending it from Frontier Park down along the Bayfront and up to and connecting with the Arboretum at Penn State Barron seemed to be a natural progression for LEAF in expanding their mission in their area. And because BABO's mission is mainly along the Bayfront and those walking trails, it seemed to be a natural type of merger and saving our resources and not duplicating services in the way of accounting and etc., and being able to utilize each other's assets in furthering both missions.
When you started BABO, you were focused on primarily the west side, or both the west and the east side of the block?
BABO really got started when the Department of Transportation decided to build a Bayfront Parkway along the Bayfront, and a road to access the Bayfront there. At the time, PennDOT was really focused on being the Department of the Automobile, not the Department of Transportation. And we saw this lack of transportation thought process from PennDOT as including pedestrians and bicycles and other modes of transportation other than the car. In their design, they looked at it from curb to curb. And we really felt that they should have included adequate walkways and sidewalks and public access that was needed for the Bayfront future development. We couldn't get their attention. We tried to get the attention of the city to attend to this. We tried to get the Port Authority to look at that type of improvement as a necessary improvement to provide all that could be provided by the Bayfront. When we found that all the public organizations that should be in charge of that weren't going to pick up the stick and charge with it, we formed a nonprofit to do exactly that. gained property and took what is now the west side bike trail that follows along the north edge of the parkway from Cranberry to Cherry Street. It was our first project, and developed that, and it was received so well by the community. In future phases of adding the parkway, continuing along the east side and up to Barron, that PennDOT now said, oh yeah, we should have done that when we did the west side, and incorporated that into their plan, so that it wasn't necessary for the nonprofit to repeat that process of doing it. We did a demonstration, and subsequently the Port Authority has said yes, pathways on either side of the Bayfront Parkway across the Bayfront is the right thing to do, and we're going to start doing it where PennDOT doesn't.
Cool. So on a real estate side, you focused an awful lot on the Bayfront.
I moved here from Los Angeles in 1971, and at that time the Erie Bayfront was inaccessible by anything other than dirt roads. That it was in the process of a declining manufacturing, shipbuilding, all those waterfront activities that built the Bayfront originally were all declining. And I stopped on the bluff and looked over at the bluff at this beautiful site and said, oh yeah, I'm from California. I know that what's going to happen here in the next 5 years, this is going to be $1 million a square foot. I need to park myself here for 5 years and wait for that to overrun me. Well, here I am 40 years later, still waiting for that.